As we continue our series, Eye on Earth, we're introducing you to one organization that isn't waiting for Congress to take action on climate change. The Solutions Project, co-founded by award-winning actor Mark Ruffalo, aims to transition to 100% clean, renewable energy for everyone by 2050.
That's coming up. The project has supported and funded more than 100 grassroots organizations, 95% of which are run by people of color.
My name's Rawa Kermatian.
My name is Nathaniel Smith.
I am Suzanne Singer. I'm the executive director of Native Renewables. And my grandparents were among the 15,000 families that lacked access to electricity on the Navajo Nation. And that's why I founded Native Renewables. We've been able to install several off-grid solar systems for families, and that's been really exciting because we can see them turn the light on for the very first time.
Well, the partnership with Southern Equity works to advance a new Southern agenda for racial equity and shared prosperity. But we're educating communities of color to be more active and involved in their own destiny by way of advocacy as relates to climate and energy issues.
This is amazing.
Push Buffalo is a frontline community-based organization that is mobilizing residents to create strong neighborhoods, and we build affordable housing. We build community-owned renewable energy projects. Everything we do at Push Buffalo is rooted in addressing climate justice. Our next project is going to be 49 units of affordable housing with 30% supportive housing, and they will be built with no fossil fuel infrastructure in Buffalo, New York.
We're grateful to the Solutions Project.
They have just been not only a funder, but a great ally.
It's a real, authentic relationship that honors the wisdom that frontline communities like ours know what they want where they live, and that we're already leading with real solutions for real people.
Mark Ruffalo and the Solutions Project President and CEO Gloria Walton join us now. Good morning to you. Mark, I want to start with you as a co-founder of the Solutions Project. Climate change is obviously a global issue, but the focus of the project is on local actors. How did it come about and why that strategy?
Well, thanks for having us on. It's great to be here talking about the good news of this moment we're living in. I moved my family to upstate New York right in the moment that they were going to put 55,000 fracking wells in my community. And so my experience of this is from the front line. My community had to fight with very little resources. It was a rural community, and we had to fight literally for our lives and our children's lives. It would poison the air and the water, and would create an enormous amount of pollution. And what I saw was how efficient, how effective that kind of organizing was, and how little resources you needed to actually create change. And not only did we ban fracking, but we also pushed the state to 100% renewable energy with the most progressive legislation in the nation on transitioning away from dirty fossil fuels.
Yeah.
And so I saw the power of community organizing to actually affect change and implement the change that needs to happen in order for us to thrive in this new climate reality and crisis.
Hey, Gloria, we just heard Mark say that he's happy to talk about the good news of this particular moment that we're living through. I think a lot of people will be surprised to hear there is good news. From where you're sitting there as president of the Solutions Project, what do you like? What do you see?
Oh, wow. So much. To Mark's point, this is a moment where we have the president of the United States saying environmental justice. And that has everything to do with the decades of organizing and power building in frontline communities. I particularly feel like we're in a moment that I should speak to, right? A moment of racial reckoning. And, I think about how racism, pollution, and poverty are interconnected. And in this time of racial reckoning, I feel like climate justice really is an opportunity to transform our systems in a way that leaves no communities behind. I say this
Gloria, I just wanted to say, because you say racial justice is an essential part of tackling climate change. Can you make that connection? How does that work?
Yes, great question, Tony. So it's no coincidence that the same communities that are criminalized and dying at the hands of police officers who swore to protect and serve us are the very same communities that are first and worst impacted by climate change. And that's not by chance. So decisions have been made to create a lot of conditions that Black, Indigenous, Asian American, and Pacific Islander and other people of color communities are living with. And these communities have a history of being under-resourced. And it's not coincidence that these communities are often surrounded and living adjacent to freeways, oil drilling, fracking sites, and even petrochemical plants. And so the air quality is often bad and highly polluted. And what that means is that these communities have higher rates of asthma and other respiratory illnesses, cancer, and even higher rates of mortality, right, than white communities. And so when you look at something like COVID, for example, and they're saying how these same communities are disproportionately impacted, it's not coincidence that these are the same communities that are on the front lines of environmental degradation, right? And so if your lungs are already compromised, if you get COVID, you're going to be one of the sickest, right? And so for generations, environmental justice communities, or as we like to call it, frontline communities, those most impacted and closest to the problems, are often the first to the solutions. Yeah. And in fact, are innovating transformative climate solutions that are tackling multiple problems at once. So they're creating living wage green jobs, training opportunities, affordable housing powered by solar, addressing public health by fighting for policies to improve air quality, advocating to keep oil in the ground, and putting buffer zones between where families live and children play. And so this is a moment where our government and corporate industry leaders need to be looking to the expertise and innovation happening in frontline communities. It's time to invest and scale community-centered and community-led solutions.
Gloria Walton, Mark Ruffalo, we appreciate you both for joining us. Thank you very much.
Mark, could I just say I loved you, and I know this much is true. Congratulations on your meet. You were so good. I thought if he doesn't win, something's wrong. Has nothing to do with climate change, but you were awesome. Nice to meet you, Gloria.
Thank you very much.
I know we got to go.
We got to go. Thank you both. We're watching CBS This Morning. We'll be right back.